Hi everyone, Adrian from Audio Excellence Canada. Hope you're doing well. This is take 2 of this topic that has been bothering me a lot ever since I was conscious.
Why are you smiling?
Well, I'm just generally a happy guy. So
it bothers you so much.
The topic,
like irate and angry.
The topic is paid reviews. In other words, I had no idea, or maybe I did, I just wasn't paying attention to it, that a lot of the audio reviews, and of course I'm sure other product reviews as well, are paid by manufacturers or importers on YouTube. But when I watch these videos, there's no indication that they're being paid. And so the question is, why am I bothered by this? And number one. Number two, should I be bothered by this? Or am I just stupid and naive and ignorant? And number three, if they're not paid by the importers or manufacturers, how should they be paid? I firmly believe in the idea of capitalism. If you do some work and you do good work, you should get paid. And number four, I guess, is can you trust these reviews as a result of that? Because for me, it's a blatant conflict of interest. But that's just me. So let's go around the horn. Behind the camera is Angus, and then Jerry's on the other side filming, playing with his other camera. I don't know if it's working. And of course, my compatriot over here, Philip. So Philip, what do you think? Number one, did you know that a lot of these videos by reviewers were in fact paid by manufacturers and or their distributors?
Yes.
Okay, well,
but
I must be the only one.
I don't really find it that different from what's been going on.
You gotta face the camera because...
I don't really find it that different from what's been going on before.
So you mean like the magazines?
Yes, well, again, it's really a question of how everything is being directed. In other words, manufacturers send products out to be reviewed. That's always happened.
Yes.
Reviewers have kept them forever. That's always happened. And as long as the manufacturer does not dictate what the review should be, and the reviewer has journalistic integrity and actually is reporting objectively. So certainly after the fact, after everything's been written, and as long as the manufacturer does not have any editorial control, how is what's happening now that different?
Yeah, so let's double click on that. Ooh, that's a new phrase that I learned. Ooh. Double click. Ooh. Are you guys impressed? So
did you click and swipe?
To the right. Okay. I have no idea. You're supposed to slip to the right or left.
Why do you know what that means?
I watch YouTube videos and they talk about swiping to the right. I don't even know if that's a good or bad
Tinder.
thing. Yeah, but is that a good or bad thing? If you swipe to the right, is that a
I
good
think that's supposed to be good.
Right is good.
But again, there's another bias there.
Exactly.
Going to the right or going to the
I'm
left.
a lefty, so if you swipe to the right, that means you're ignoring me. Okay, anyway, so let's expand on that. Of course, magazines survive because they need products to review. I have no issue with that at all. And of course, magazines survive through advertising. Again, I have no issue with that. And again, to your point, as long as the manufacturers don't have any kind of sway on the product, it's fine. That's basically what I expect. To the best of my knowledge, for example, I've had the pleasure of talking with John Atkinson of Stereophile a couple of times about this issue, and he's always very firmly maintained, both in person to me as well as in print, that as soon as he took over Stereophile, he made sure very, very clearly that the advertising division of Stereophile was completely separate from the editorial division of Stereophile, so that the reviewers would have no knowledge of whether or not the manufacturer was advertising, when they were advertising, how much they were advertising, and so on, or if they were advertising. And it was always very, very clear about that separation. The point, again, is just that I believe that if you're going to do a review, and if the review is going to have any kind of credibility, that if you are being paid by the manufacturer, you should say it. Okay, and we're back. We were interrupted just now. So we left off I was saying that I would love you guys to give me your comments about what you think. Whether reviews or reviewers should be transparent as far as how they're being compensated. Again, I want to be very clear. I truly believe that whatever work you do, if you do a good job, you should absolutely be compensated. I don't have an issue with that. Where I think it bothers me is if a review is done by a reviewer who is being paid by a manufacturer, can that review in fact be unbiased? Is it possible? Especially when it's a very expensive piece of gear. And we'll cover in a bit how it's different with us. Angus, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think it's important for the reviewer to be transparent about what is going on behind the scenes, not necessarily how they're being compensated, but if, say, a company sent it out for a review, then they should let the audience know that they didn't buy the unit and then that the company sent it to them. And if they're being paid to do the review, then they should let the viewers know. At least then it's transparent, and then people can take what they say with a grain of salt because they know that they're being paid to say something. And I don't know, I think sometimes you have to look at their channel and see if everything they say about every product is positive, then that's somewhat suspicious because obviously you can't like everything. And then, yeah, if everything they say is positive, then it's generally a point of suspicion for me.
So let me clarify. Are you comfortable with the fact that there's no disclaimer, there's no, the reviewer doesn't indicate that the review is being paid for by the manufacturer? Or, I'm okay with somebody else sponsoring that particular video. So for example, there's this YouTube channel that I watch from time to time, JAYEMM. He reviews cars, and he's got insurance companies sponsoring his channel, and has nothing to do specifically with that particular car that he's driving or he's talking about. Are you saying that you're okay if a reviewer does not declare that this review is in fact being sponsored and he's being paid to do that review by the manufacturer?
No, I think they should say that. And I think from what I know on YouTube, you actually have to, by law, declare if something is being sponsored. So
whose laws?
It's in the U.S. It's since YouTube is an American company. It's you actually have to by law put hashtag ad on it if you're being sponsored by that company to say something.
Okay. So you're not okay if I, as a reviewer, do a review of a product and that review is being paid for by the manufacturer?
If you're transparent about it, then it's fine. But if you're not saying it and you're just saying good things about it, then I think that's a little disingenuous and kind of a conflict of interest.
Okay. So when I was thinking about why this bothered me so much, I couldn't really put my finger on it because I'm really one of these guys that says live and let live. I really don't have an issue with, with being paid to do work at all. In fact, I believe that you should be. And I was trying to understand why this was really gnawing at me. Let me give you a specific situation. So I was watching this particular video, and it was a really well-produced, very well-made video. And then it turns out that I happen to know the manufacturer who had supplied the product to the reviewer, and the manufacturer told me that the reviewer wanted that product under test as his payment. Now, this particular product retails for over 10,000, substantially over 10,000 US dollars. And when I found that out, it just shocked me. And then recently I saw another review. YouTube sends out these suggestions from the same reviewer. And now when I saw that review, the first thing that popped into my mind, now that I knew the background, was how can I trust that this review is in fact impartial. So that's the other issue I have if there's no disclaimers. As I think I mentioned earlier, that if the reviewer says this review is sponsored by the manufacturer, or something along the lines that if you like this product, if you like the review and you'd like to buy it, please use my link. I think that's very transparent, and I think that is totally okay as far as I'm concerned. Philip, any thoughts?
Well, it's super simple. They're not journalists.
Yeah.
So I don't believe any of it.
Okay.
I truly don't believe in any of that stuff. And as Angus says, you know, is it only positive reviews? Well, I know for a fact they will not put a negative review online. They will not publish it. And we've done the same things you've said in the past.
And let me address that in a moment, because I as part of this video, I decided let's come clean with why we have unboxed certain things and why we didn't do the reviews of those things. Because I thought, okay, if I'm going to call this out, let me be very honest about it as well. But before we address that, one of the things that the guys will tell you that I'm very particular about is words matter in the store. So in the store, I always tell the guys, people who come in are our clients, not customers, right? Am I right?
Yes, I always use the word
I
client.
always say clients, not customers. Now, what's the difference? Is there a distinction? Yes. A customer is somebody that transacts with you, whether it's for a business, a service, doesn't really matter. It's just somebody that transacts. A client is somebody that's under your care and protection. And by the way, this is something that I learned from a gentleman called Jay Abraham. If you don't know him, Google him. He's a superb business trainer, very, very smart. And if you guys are running your own business or thinking about running your own business, go on his website. He has a lot of free resources that you can learn from, and I can tell you personally that I've benefited huge from his teachings. And he talks about this distinction. Treat everybody as a client, and if you treat that person as a client, that person is under your care and your protection, which means that you will do everything you can to look after this particular person. So I can tell you from first-hand experience, Philip will, when you become his client, Philip will go to the ends of the earth for you, and sometimes drives me crazy because he'll spend hours. Am I right? Angus is shaking, is nodding his head. To Philip's incredible credit, he takes it to 100 times. And so when his clients call, and I pick up the phone and Philip is not here, and I'll say, Audio Excellence, can I help you? And they'll say, can I speak with Philip? And I'll say, he's out.
Well,
can I do anything for you? And they'll say, no, I'll wait for Philip. That is to his
in all
testament.
fairness, your clients are also
Right.
as you know.
So that's because we like to believe we take such good care of our clients. That's the difference. So if I believe this to the core, that means that I will do everything I can to be honest, to be straightforward with our clients. Obviously, there are things that fall through the crack we may not know or we missed, but we do not actively, purposely, consciously mislead our clients. We're very careful to be sure. And so our videos, for example, this video that we're doing, I did not have a conversation with the guys. I just said, this is bothering me, let's do a video. I did not tell Angus, say something to this effect. I just threw it to Angus just now, and Angus gave me his opinion. If Jerry was here, he had to leave, he would give you his opinion, and so has Philip.
And I always do. So.
Right, exactly. Can't stop it. Angus is laughing. So another way that I think that reviews could be paid, support them on Patreon. If you like his content or her content, support them on Patreon. Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful way to support that person and their content. And of course, finally, as content creators, YouTube will also pay you a certain amount for the content you provide. So, and of course you can, do merchandising and so on. You'll notice that we don't do any of that because we don't want it to be a commercial enterprise. At some point, I may consider a Patreon because I'd like the guys who are creating this content along with me to have additional remuneration as well. So we may end up doing that, and if you guys like to support them, I think that would be cool as well. But we're always very, very much above board. So how is it different, to come to Philip's point, how is it different between us and the other reviewers? I'm not saying that we are smarter, that we are better at reviews and so on. I'm certainly not saying that. We're definitely not professionals, nor are we journalists. We acknowledge, at least I do, that we're human beings. I have my own biases, and we make it very clear in our videos what our biases are. We always indicate that we don't collaborate before the video, so...
People don't believe us.
Right, but we never ever talk before the video, so I have no idea what Philip will say. I make my own notes, and maybe because we have similar expectations, we say very similar things, but we certainly don't collaborate beforehand. What's different is that virtually everything that we review, we own. So I have put money down on the product because I really like it, and then I'll tell you why I like it, and I'll also tell you why certain areas that I don't like about it. But you also know where we're coming from. We have quote unquote a vested interest in the products that we are talking about. There's no hidden agenda. We obviously hope that you'll buy it from us, but we also know many instances where many of you have written in and told us that due to our opinions, you bought in your native home, territory, continent, etc. And we're delighted to hear that. We are glad that the little that we do has led to your decision, and hope that you enjoy it as well. But we didn't get anything out of it,
Well, so in actual fact, I often will tell people the first thing is that please support your local brick and mortar store, whatever your local retailer has going on. Try and support that as much as possible to keep the industry alive. That's absolutely of no benefit to us. Just simply, we're just trying to keep all the lines of communication open, have people be as encouraged as possible, and just enjoy the greatness that is audio, at least the way we hear it.
Yeah.
And we like to share that. I don't know how many people have said to me, you guys should be making some money out of it. I want to buy something from you. And the first thing I say is, well, you're in the States, you're in this area, you need to look up a local dealer and make sure you go to that local dealer and give them the support, him or her, the support that they need. And I don't think I can say it any better than that.
No. And again, I want to be very clear. I hope this is not coming across as was it the pot calling the kettle black? In other words,
we're not preaching from the
yeah. I'm certainly not trying at all to be hypocritical. I really am not. I still don't understand why it bothers me as much as it does, and maybe it's because it's not as transparent as it should be, and because I see the people that we interact with as clients, and so I really care about protecting those of you who might be as naive as I am, who were not aware that this was happening. I just discovered that some reviewers insist on getting a percentage of all the sales that are made as a result of the review, and apparently the manufacturer can track. In other words, if they were selling X amount before the review and suddenly it jumped, then they want a percentage of that. And I'm thinking, how can that lead to an unbiased review? I don't see how that can be done. Again, I would love to see your comments and whether you think I'm crazy. But now to address what Philip brought up, so that we're not hypocritical. We've done a bunch of unboxing of products, and we decided not to do a review on it, even though we had originally thought we were going to do a review. So I am ultimately responsible for bringing products into the store and deciding whether or not we're going to carry it. There have been instances where I have heard certain products at, for example, a Consumer Electronics Show, and was blown away by the sound at the show, like really blown away, all excited. I come back, I tell the guys, then they get excited because they know it's not easy to get me all excited. And then we receive the product, we unbox it, we plug it in and go, what was Adrian smoking when he listened to this thing? It doesn't sound anywhere near as good. I mean, yes, certain aspects are quite incredible, but overall doesn't cut the mustard. And I felt the same way after we hear it at the store. Under our own circumstances, using our own equipment, and try as we might, we can't get it to sound the way we like it. At which point should we have done the review? I decided that since we are not carrying the product, we shouldn't do the review because it wouldn't be fair. Maybe it's just a reflection of our taste, but as I said earlier, we review products that we own. So if I own the product, if I decide to buy the product, I would review it. We decided not to buy the product, the manufacturer took it back, and so we didn't do a review. So that will hopefully tell you why we didn't do those reviews of those products that we had unboxed. And again, to be clear, it doesn't mean that you won't like it. Let's say Golden Year in particular. The agent is a good friend of the stores, is a friend of mine. Fred is lovely. Fred, I mean, you contact Fred at any given time and he'll respond. He'll give you tremendous feedback and support. I love Fred. He's a great agent. And he really wanted us to be an agent for, a dealer for Golden Year. For whatever reason, we couldn't make it work in the store to the sound that we like.
Well, so I did talk to Fred extensively about the speakers, and he suggested that we use these power cords. Not expensive ones, but that definitely you would need to upgrade the power cords to make the speakers sound correct. And then that he suggested, of course, a fairly expensive AudioQuest speaker cable. Now, maybe not super expensive, but you're talking about adding $2,000 to $3,000 in order to make the speakers sound good. And of course, the problem with that is that then the $10,000 purchase becomes $13,000. Yeah. So that's a big bump in making a product that should just sound good out of the box. Now it sounded okay out of the box, and I'm sure some people will really like what it does to a certain degree, but it didn't quite kick in for us. And when I put the power cables in, it got a lot better. But as we were using some very expensive power cables, so that to us is not a good value. It's really about value.
That's exactly right. So to expand on what Philip just said. Did I ever talk in any of the videos about? Anyways, I'll just expand on.
We've talked about that's been a theme for us.
Yeah. So when we started the store in 1991, it was a bad recession, and so one of the things I had to really dig in very deep was why would anybody shop with Audio Excellence? Why would anybody come to Adrian? There were all kinds of great stores in 1991 in Toronto. Nobody needed to come to me. We had no money. We had no real product. Why would anybody come to me? And I had to think about what our value proposition was, our competitive advantage. And to make it very simple, one of the things was let's identify what value means and then find the best products at every price point that we can think of and recommend those to our clients. And so if a speaker, for example, Golden Ear, is fantastic for somebody else, but doesn't do it for us, then it's not great value. So again, I want to be very clear. It doesn't mean that those of you who have bought the Golden Ear may not think that it's wonderful. At the end of the day, if you bought it and you love it, good for you. It just didn't work for us, specifically for me. So anyway, hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what we're looking at and why this video is being done. And we'll catch up in a bit. All right, so this will be our third interruption. I'm sorry because it's we're filming this during the day, and so I apologize for that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I would love to read your comments, so please put them in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I really don't want this to come across as slagging other people, because that's really not my intent. I do want, however, that the industry be more transparent and that we are all aware when we watch a video what the biases are, what the remunerations are, and so on. So anyway, I'm going to cut this off now. Philip is in front of me replying furiously to his emails. So, Adrian from Audio Excellence Canada again. If you like this video, even if you don't like it, please subscribe, support us, turn on notifications. The money that we get, we donate and we match to charity. So you're helping us in that way. We'll see you again next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.